What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. So, more and more over the last few months, I've found myself streaming. And when I stream, either on the Planet Destiny Twitch page or on my own Twitch channel, I find that when I play Nightfalls or when I raid, I really like to invite members of the community or viewers into the raid so that we can play together. I think that it creates a nice form of community, right? Is I know a lot of people because I've raided with them. We've had long conversations in a raid. We've joked together. We've cried together over crazy losses. Stuff like that. I find it's a really rewarding thing to do, and it's really what keeps me coming back to Twitch time and time again. It's just not something that YouTube really allows for that easily. However, every once in a while, I find that I run into some issues while I'm streaming with viewers. So I wanted to make a quick video today just kind of going over those issues because, frankly, they're pretty easy to solve, and I just thought it'd be nice to kind of prime people up so they know, if you want to play with their favorite streamer, whether it be me or somebody else, there's a few things that they're going to really appreciate when you jump into that stream. So the first thing is the stream is meant to be entertaining for viewers, and please respect that. I want to talk to you. I know you want to talk to me, but I can't focus solely on the conversation we're having. First of all, I need to actually play the game. We need to actually beat the raid or the nightfall that we're working on. If the conversation is interrupting that, you'll find that I get very distracted from that conversation quickly. Also, I want to still be interacting with the chat in Twitch. So if you're just dominating my time, that makes it hard for me to actually conversate with the chat. So I do want to talk to you. I want to have a good conversation, but I don't want to talk for 45 minutes about how to balance Thorn. That's more something I'm going to do during a podcast or during a long format video. It's not something I really want to do on stream. Next, viewer raids and viewer carries are kind of a different thing. If you want to raid with me, I'm all over that. If you want to get carried through a raid, that's not really my bag. When I'm raiding, when I'm playing with viewers, I'm spending half the time looking at the screen, half the time looking at a chat page. Frankly, I need people to call out when it's my turn to run down to a totem. I am not carrying that viewer team. I'm just playing with them. So if you're looking for a carry, you should probably look elsewhere. There are a lot of people who do it. Say No to Rage does it, and he does it well. There's a lot of people out there who will carry you through your first raid experience. I will definitely bring you along on a hard mode raid if it's your first time in hard mode, but understand that it's not necessarily a carry. I am looking for people who are able to contribute to actually defeating Oryx. Next up, have a mic and know how to use it. So a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have mics on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. And if you're going to join a viewer raid, I'd really prefer that you did have a mic in that it was working well when you join in. Every once in a while, I get somebody who, either doesn't have a mic, which I think I actually prefer, or doesn't have a mic that works correctly. If you don't have a mic that works correctly and the sound is just grating, I'm going to have to mute you. It's just not, again, it goes back to the stream is meant to be entertaining for viewers. If you're trying to figure out your mic on the fly, that's just not going to cut it for a stream. It just doesn't sound good. If we're telling you how to adjust the sound settings on your mic or that kind of thing, it's just not entertaining. But having a mic is definitely a plus. It allows me to talk to you. It allows you to talk to me. It allows us to communicate about what we're doing. It also helps because I'm not just talking to the chat, but I'm also talking to the people in my raid team. I like that. I like that interaction. So, if you're going to join a raid, if you're going to join a viewer raid, definitely have a mic. Definitely make sure it's working before you jump in there. Just check the thing out. There's pretty easy tools, especially on PlayStation, to see if it's working correctly. Next up, let's keep the chatter low, especially if we're struggling. So this comes up every once in a while, right? We're in a viewer raid. We're struggling. Maybe we're at the totems and we're on our 5th or 6th wipe. And we have a couple of people in chat who don't want to talk about what we're doing. They want to give a play-by-play commentary of what they're doing. Or they want to talk about how to balance, primary weapons in the Crucible. I don't mind having a conversation, especially if we're just burning through the raid. If we're struggling, though, you're going to hear me say, let's keep the chatter down, let's do call-outs only, that kind of thing. I'm interested in getting the raid completed. I'm not interested in having a 2 or 3 hour raid. That makes the raid boring for me personally. And if that happens too many times in a row for me, I'll often get burnt out on the raid very quickly. If we can keep the raid to about an hour, that makes it fun and fresh and kind of keeps me coming back to it. And that's how I like to run things on the channel. So that's just kind of how I like to do it. If we're just burning through the content, though, if we're going through and just, smashing every single enemy and just crushing the bosses, then yeah, the conversation's going to open up to more broad topics. You're going to hear a lot more jokes because we're not just having to concentrate on getting things done and carrying some of the weaker members. So, that's a kind of gauge thing. It's a feel kind of thing. If you feel like if we're struggling a little bit, let's keep that chatter to a minimum, really concentrate on what we're doing. If we're just burning through the content, then yeah, let's open up, let's get a little more conversation going because that's a lot of fun. And it's a perfect chance to meet people too. If you've never done an activity before, be honest, we can help. So this happens every once in a while. I get straight up lies. People will join a raid, especially a raid really, and say, yeah, I've done it before. Or I'll ask at the beginning of the raid, I say, hey, has anybody not done this raid before? And my intention is to explain things as we go along. If I get no answer, or if I get, a bunch of people saying, yeah, I've done it before, and then I find out you don't know how to do the totems or you don't know how to do the Oryx encounter, that kind of pisses me off because I feel like you're wasting my time. I understand that sounds kind of like mean for me to say, but that's the fact of the matter. If you tell me that you haven't done this encounter before, or you haven't successfully completed it before, or you don't know the strategy we're using, that really helps me because I can explain it to you, or I can ask somebody else in the raid group to explain it to you while I, interact with chat a little bit. But if we continually fail because you don't know what you're doing, that makes it a little hard on me, and it's very, very frustrating. So I understand that these are kind of like weird requirements, and they're not requirements so much, but it's some of the things that come up when I'm actually raiding or playing Nightfalls or that kind of thing with viewers. And I don't mean to sound mean, but that is, these are the concerns. You have to understand that, I am trying to put on an entertaining show. That is one of the goals when I'm actually in a raid, when I'm streaming. The secondary goal is, yes, that's why I'm inviting viewers and not just doing it with my clan or with Planet Destiny members, is because I would like to meet you guys. It's a perfect opportunity for us to interact and to meet. And, a lot of people on my friends list came to my friends list based on doing viewer raids. We had a good time doing a raid. It was a really enjoyable experience, so I shot him a friend request. That's the kind of thing that I really appreciate from Twitch. It's kind of my favorite thing about Twitch. But it is meant to be entertaining for the viewers, not just for the people in the raid group. So if you can just remember some of these things when you get invited or when you're sending me a message, have a mic that works. Be ready, know how to use it. Keep the chatter down, especially if we're struggling. If you've never done the activity before, be honest about it. Let us explain to you exactly how we're doing something and, why we're doing certain activities the way we're doing it. Just be kind of aware that you're not the only person in that stream. I think that really helps. It helps me as a streamer put on a better show, and I feel like it puts me in a better place where I don't have to think about kicking people because either they're just a chatterbox and we can't get anything accomplished, or because they got a mic that won't work, or because they're causing a lot of static because they have a rotten mic, that kind of thing. It puts me in a really uncomfortable position that I hate being in. So I feel like hopefully, making this video will help alleviate that in the future. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.